Cristiano Ronaldo could repair Portugal's damaged legacy by abandoning his World Cup dream. If the declining all-time star is serious about stepping down to help his country progress, now is the time to prove it. The 40-year-old could provide a major boost for his country if he decides to retire from international football before next year's tournament in North America. "If I don't score and someone else scores, it's all the same to me," Cristiano Ronaldo declared after Portugal's 1-0 defeat to Denmark in the first leg of their Nations League quarterfinal. "If Portugal have to win and I don't play, I'll sign my name now, tell the coach, and I won't play. I'll defend this country to the death." In a rare admission of his human capacity for failure, Ronaldo also claimed he has played 50,000 bad games since making his professional debut for Sporting CP in 2002, before adding, "Sometimes things don't go well." It's refreshing to hear the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner lower his guard rather than stick to his style and let his arrogance run wild. Actions speak louder than words, though, and what we've seen on the pitch suggests that Ronaldo's perception of reality is still distorted. Indeed, if the 40-year-old was serious about putting Portugal's collective ambitions ahead of his own, he wouldn't still be willing to be picked by Roberto Martinez. The Seleção have not been going well for the past 3 years, and Ronaldo is a big reason why. The Al Nassr star is still fit enough to score goals consistently in the Saudi Pro League, but he is clearly no longer able to keep up with the pace of elite-level football, which is entirely understandable given his age. Ronaldo's refusal to admit that is the problem. No one can take away the former Manchester United and Real Madrid forward's status as the greatest player of all time, but he has damaged his legacy by extending his Portugal career well beyond his years. That legacy can still be repaired, but only if Ronaldo is willing to change his character and make a selfless decision to give up on his dream of lifting the World Cup. A bout of self-doubt. Ronaldo had just one real chance in Denmark last week, a weak header that went wide of the post, and spent most of the game as a substitute. It was a poor performance that should have seen him benched for the return leg at the José Alvalade Stadium. But Martinez seems completely unwilling to even consider taking Ronaldo out of the firing line. "Our teams are very flexible tactically, we have played with 2 strikers. We need to use our players depending on our opponent. But it is not a question of trying to talk about Cristiano in every game," the Portugal head coach told a pre-match press conference. "If Cristiano Ronaldo scores, he is the most important player in the team. When he does not score, it is because of his age. It is not a fair assessment." Author name. Sure enough, Ronaldo was back in the starting 11 on Sunday, and within just 3 minutes, he had the chance to justify his inclusion. He won the penalty after falling easily as he tried to reach a cross, and stepped forward to take it himself in trademark style, shoulders back and cheeks puffed out. Ronaldo appeared to suffer a bout of self-doubt as he prepared, as he stuttered before firing a weak effort straight into the hands of Denmark goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. Remarkably, it was only the 32nd penalty miss of Ronaldo's career from 204 attempts, but it will probably be remembered as his worst given his lack of conviction. Plenty of passion, but no mobility. Ronaldo responded well after that embarrassing moment. He continued to fire away to test Schmeichel, and played a key role in Portugal's opener, diving to meet Bruno Fernandes' corner which led to Joachim Andersen inadvertently heading the ball into his own net. Denmark equalized through Rasmus Christensen just before the hour mark, but luck eventually turned on Ronaldo. Portugal went ahead again in the 72nd minute after Fernandes' long-range effort hit the post before bouncing off Schmeichel and falling to Ronaldo, who nodded the ball into the net from a tight angle. It seemed Ronaldo's predatory instincts would be the last thing to leave him, but his mobility had long since disappeared. That proved to be the case. Cristiano Ronaldo could repair Portugal's damaged legacy by abandoning his World Cup dream. If the declining all-time star is serious about stepping down to help his country progress, now is the time to prove it. The game went into extra time after Christian Eriksen's goal was cancelled out by substitute Francisco Trincão, who doubled the lead just after the restart before Ronaldo's replacement Goncalo Ramos put Portugal 5-3 up on aggregate. As he did in the Euro 2016 final, Ronaldo took on the role of assistant coach as he tried to push his teammate over the line from the technical area, and when the final whistle blew he celebrated with great enthusiasm. But Portugal might not have won if Ronaldo had stayed on for 120 minutes. It was only after Ronaldo was withdrawn that they came back and Denmark began to wane, with their talented forward line relieved of the pressure of constantly searching for their captain. Casting a big shadow. Ronaldo has now scored 6 goals in 8 games in the latest Nations League, which is an impressive tally, but 4 of those goals have come against Scotland and Poland, with the other 2 coming in wins over Croatia and a less than stellar Denmark. Portugal faced their first major test against a top-flight side in the semi-finals, with Julian Nagelsmann's Germany waiting after their last 8 win over Italy. It was no surprise that Portugal lost that game, as they still lack a proper identity under Martinez. His insistence on building the team around Ronaldo has hampered any significant progress that could have been made. Ronaldo has also had a huge impact on the team off the pitch, with his every move and word being scrutinized. Indeed, before the second leg against Denmark, he made headlines for demanding that reporters look him in the eye after asking a question, rather than staring at a computer screen. Such ego outbursts would have been forgivable when Ronaldo was at his peak, but now they are an unwanted distraction. Martinez has allowed Ronaldo to survive on the basis of his past achievements, ignoring the obvious fact that he has regressed out of fear, or worse, sheer ignorance. Football doesn't need Ronaldo at the 2026 World Cup. If Ronaldo does qualify for next year's World Cup, Portugal will almost certainly suffer more heartbreak. The Seleção were knocked out of the competition by an underdog Morocco side in 2022 in the last 16, and at last summer's European Championship in Germany they were beaten by a subpar France in the quarter-finals. Ronaldo featured in all 10 of Portugal's games at the tournament but only scored once, from the penalty spot. Fernando Santos at least dropped Ronaldo for the game against Morocco in Qatar, which should have been the end of things for the Sporting CP Academy graduate, who was left in tears after the 1-0 defeat. Martinez's first task after replacing Santos, however, was to reassert Ronaldo's status as Portugal's most important player. Ronaldo started every game at the Euros, and Martinez only substituted the then 39-year-old once, in a group stage match with Georgia after Portugal had already secured their place in the last 16, despite his ineffectiveness in the final third. Portugal are arguably a worse team now than they were when Martinez first arrived, and it is hard to imagine their fans will tolerate another year when he is in favor of Ronaldo. Neutral supporters also don't want to see Ronaldo embarrass himself on the biggest stage again, including former Chelsea and Netherlands star Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Football doesn't need Ronaldo at the 2026 World Cup, Hasselbank recently told Gambling Zone. Ronaldo has been one of the best players for a long time, one of the best players in history. I think, at the moment, he's doing himself more harm than good to be playing for Portugal still. So much firepower. Martinez's blind faith in Ronaldo could be forgiven if Portugal were short of options up front, but that's certainly not the case. They happen to be blessed with one of the most fearsome front lines in international football, one that still has so much potential left to develop. Liverpool talisman Diogo Jota and Paris Saint-Germain's Goncalo Ramos haven't had the best of seasons at club level, but they are both quality number 9s and fully capable of filling in for Ronaldo. Ramos is also only 23, and his goal-scoring record is 100%. When he disappeared without a trace in the closing stages before apparently asking Martinez to take him off due to injury. With a number of versatile players to rely on such as Fernandes, Rafael Leao, Pedro Goncalves, Francisco Conceição, Pedro Neto and Trincao, Martinez also has the option of deploying a false 9. If further evidence of Portugal's overall strength was needed, Chelsea loanee João Felix has not even played a game under Martinez, and Sporting youngster Giovanni Quenda is still waiting for his senior debut. It's not that Portugal don't want Ronaldo anymore, they just don't need him. The Seleção have enough talent to fight for all the biggest prizes, but not while the remnants of the previous generation are standing in the way of the development of their exciting new generation. A final chance to restore lost dignity. If Ronaldo is serious about stepping down so Portugal can thrive, now is the time for him to prove it. Martinez will clearly not stop calling on the veteran centre-forward, so the onus is on him to announce his retirement from international football before further damage is done. It won't be easy to hang up his boots without a World Cup winner's medal, which many would argue gives Ronaldo's arch-rival Lionel Messi the edge in the GOAT debate. But his last chance to lift the trophy came in 2018, when Portugal were comprehensively beaten in the quarter-finals by Uruguay. There will be no glorious send-offs in the United States, Canada and Mexico, as Ronaldo is a shadow of the player he once was. He defied Father Time admirably after leaving Real Madrid for Juventus that year, and in his return to Manchester United, but there's no denying that Ronaldo's powers have declined since the start of the 2022-23 season. He's too stubborn to admit it. There's no chance of Ronaldo winning now, but he could restore some of his lost dignity if he allows Portugal to start a new era without him. However, that would mean changing a lifetime of habits, and sadly, Ronaldo doesn't seem ready to do that yet. Thanks for watching.